I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand. The system is completely based on money. The studio system.
I think it is moving forward. I think that light has definitely been shone into the dark regions, and it's painful, but it's a necessary thing for change.
Is Mel Gibson finally speaking up against Oprah and the systems that govern Hollywood?
The system is completely based on money. The studio system.
Mel Gibson, once a Hollywood legend, lost everything after speaking out against the system. But what if his downfall was just the beginning of a much bigger story?
I think it is moving forward. I think that light has definitely been shone into the dark regions, and it's painful, but it's a necessary thing for change.
Is Gibson's fight against the TF-icking of children and the corruption of the rich and powerful finally unraveling the truth about one of Hollywood's most famous figures, Oprah Winfrey?
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children.
Could Oprah, the queen of daytime TV, really be hiding ties to some of the darkest figures in the entertainment industry? Hollywood's biggest power players love to paint themselves as generous, world-changing philanthropists. But what if their feel-good image hides something far darker than we'd ever expect? Let's talk about one group called the Good Club. Ever heard of it? According to The Guardian, this is an ultra-exclusive circle of billionaires who meet in secret, right in the heart of New York City. Big names like Bill Gates, George Soros, Warren Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, David Rockefeller, and Ted Turner are regulars, along with lesser-known but equally wealthy members like Eli and Edith Broad. It makes you wonder what really happens behind those closed doors. One name that really stands out here is Oprah Winfrey. We all know her as the beloved talk show queen, a billionaire philanthropist with a household name. But hold on, what if Oprah isn't everything she seems? Buckle up, because there's a side to Oprah's story that she doesn't want anyone to see. Mel Gibson has shone a light on the dark underbelly of Hollywood, exposing how powerful figures prey on innocent victims. While he doesn't mention Oprah directly, it's hard to ignore her connections to some of the industry's most notorious players, like Harvey Weinstein. Oprah Winfrey's relationship with Harvey Weinstein raises some serious questions. For someone who's built her career on empowering others, it's puzzling why she stayed so close to a man like Weinstein, especially considering the heinous accusations against him. Their connection was undeniably warm, as shown in numerous photos of the two together at various events. What really baffles people is the claim that Oprah might have actually encouraged aspiring actresses to spend time with Weinstein. Rose McGowan, one of Weinstein's most vocal critics, even called Oprah out publicly. In a tweet, McGowan said, "I'm glad more people are seeing the ugly truth of Oprah. I wish she were real, but she isn't."
What do you mean by body flashback?
I can feel him there.
When Oprah finally addressed Weinstein, her response felt half-hearted, as though she was trying to shield him rather than hold him accountable. Her comments avoided getting to the core of the issue, leaving many wondering if she was attempting to protect her longtime friend.
I think that this is, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And so I think this is a watershed moment.
What's even more perplexing is how Oprah's approach to Weinstein contrasts with her treatment of Michael Jackson. It's almost as if she plays by entirely different rules when it comes to certain people. Back in 1993, Oprah famously interviewed Michael at his Neverland Ranch. This sit-down became one of the most watched TV events in history, promising to clear the air on some of the bizarre rumors swirling around him, like the claims that he wanted to become white, had extensive plastic surgery, or owned the remains of the Elephant Man. While it could have been an opportunity to rehabilitate his public image, Oprah's approach had the opposite effect. Her questions came off as intrusive and accusatory, particularly when she brought up sensitive topics like his relationships with children and his romantic life.
I'm going to ask you this, and it's embarrassing for me to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are you a virgin?
How could you ask me that question?
I just want to know. I want to know.
I'm a gentleman.
Her line line of questioning made it seem like she was pushing an agenda, which didn't sit well with Michael's family or fans. The situation worsened after Michael's death when Oprah actively supported Leaving Neverland, a documentary featuring Wade Robson and James Safechuck, who accused Michael of misconduct. Oprah not only backed the film, but also interviewed the accusers, doubling down on her stance despite the allegations never being proven in court. Michael's family and loyal fans were furious. They viewed Oprah's involvement as a betrayal, especially considering how she had once been welcomed into their home. Jermaine Jackson, Michael's older brother, publicly criticized her, emphasizing that Michael had been acquitted of these allegations during his 2005 trial. Todd Jackson, another family member, accused Oprah of using the situation to boost her own ratings, while Brandy Jackson expressed deep frustration over Oprah's actions, noting the betrayal felt particularly personal since Oprah had been so close to Michael and his kids. Janet Jackson, who had always been one of Michael's closest allies, reportedly still holds a deep grudge against Oprah. She believes that Oprah played a pivotal role in tarnishing Michael's legacy by supporting the documentary. Janet and other family members have made it clear that they see Michael as innocent, and Oprah's actions only added to their pain. To this day, Janet has demanded that Oprah apologize for her role in perpetuating the accusations, but Oprah has remained silent.
Do you think Oprah betrayed Michael?
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. And I feel like she betrayed not just him, but my family.
What's even more frustrating to Michael's supporters is the stark difference in how Oprah handled documentaries about Weinstein and Jackson. In 2019, Untouchable, a documentary about Weinstein, premiered at Sundance, yet it received relatively little attention. And Oprah certainly didn't help bring it to the forefront. Meanwhile, Oprah went out of her way to promote Leaving Neverland across multiple platforms, amplifying the allegations against Michael. So did she stay silent because of what Weinstein could offer her in terms of connections and influence? And what makes this a harder pill to swallow is that if you think Harvey is the only sketchy person she is connected to, you would be wrong. Back in the day, Oprah endorsed a healer from Brazil by the name John of God. Millions of people around the world saw Oprah, one of the most trusted voices in media, validate this guy, leading to an even bigger following for him.
This is an interview I wasn't sure would ever happen. One of the most famous spiritual healers in the world rarely talks to anyone on camera. John of God agreed to sit down with me under a mango tree.
But here's where things get really dark. Fast forward a few years, and the truth comes out. John of God was running a massive S operation. We're talking about HT, SA, and exploitation of vulnerable people, mostly women, who trusted him to heal them. The crimes this man committed were absolutely unspeakable, and Oprah had a front row seat to all of it. Oprah didn't just casually mention John of God, she praised him on her platform, giving him the Oprah seal of approval that everyone knows is pure gold. People trusted Oprah, so by featuring him on her show, she pretty much handed him a megaphone to reach more victims. He wasn't some obscure healer anymore, he was Oprah endorsed, and that gave him the kind of legitimacy that P-daters dream of.
As a medium, he's a spiritualist. He believes a great deal in God, and he practices this mission.
But now that the truth has come out, and it's horrifying, we're left asking some serious questions. Did Oprah really have no idea what was going on with this guy? Or did she turn a blind eye because he was helping her build a brand of spiritual wellness that fit her narrative? Well, netizens also have their say on the situation. One person wrote, "Oprah needs to be in jail with him." Another one added, "Oprah doesn't like when the Bible says the Most High is a jealous God, yet she's asking this creep, who makes her feel humbled, evokes humility, how to be a medium for God. It doesn't make any sense. Little children, beware of idols." Let's be real, John of God's use wasn't a small operation. He was running a full-blown T-ring under the guise of spiritual healing. So it's hard to believe that someone like Oprah, with all her resources and connections, wouldn't at least have heard whispers about what was happening. The rumors were out there, and if we know that now, what are the chances that Oprah, with her massive influence and network, didn't hear anything back then? Well, aside from misleading her audience, it seems Oprah might have also misled several African girls back in the day. Oprah Winfrey's dream of building a world-class educational institution in South Africa was born from a noble goal: to empower young girls from underprivileged backgrounds. She invested millions into creating the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for girls, personally selecting 152 students to attend. But what began as a beacon of hope soon spiraled into a series of shocking scandals that tarnished the school's reputation and left many questioning the safety of the girls entrusted to its care. One of the first and most troubling incidents involved Virginia, a 27-year-old dorm matron who was accused of inappropriate behavior toward the students. Reports surfaced that Virginia had harmed at least 6 girls aged between 13 and 15. This revelation wasn't just damaging to Oprah's name, but also cast a negative light on South Africa, which had welcomed Oprah's initiative with open arms. Many critics argued that Oprah's failure to ensure a secure environment for the girls led directly to this harm. When the allegations came to light, Oprah didn't remain on the sidelines. She immediately flew to South Africa with a team of investigators to address the situation head-on. It was clear that Oprah was deeply affected by the news. In an emotional statement, she said, "It has shaken me to my core. This is one of the most devastating, if not the most devastating, experiences of my life." Oprah personally met with the affected students and sought to uncover the truth behind the allegations. However, the legal system failed to deliver justice. Virginia pleaded not guilty, and despite the seriousness of the claims, she was not held accountable for her actions. Adding insult to injury, Virginia later filed a lawsuit against Oprah for defamation, alleging that the accusations against her were false. While Virginia's legal troubles ended, the storm of scandals at Oprah's school was far from over. The institution, which had been built with the promise of providing a safe haven for young girls, became a breeding ground for more troubling incidents. Not long after the initial scandal, the school faced another alarming situation involving physical altercations among students. One particularly shocking case involved a 15-year-old girl who allegedly threatened and intimidated her classmates to keep quiet about what was happening. This student reportedly told the victims not to reveal their experiences to parents or investigators. The result? 7 students were suspended for their roles in harassment, bullying, and inappropriate behavior. A letter sent to the parents of one of the suspended students revealed the disturbing nature of their actions, which included intimate physical contact, dishonesty, and intimidation. This raised serious questions about the school's environment and its ability to protect its students. How could such behavior occur in a place designed to uplift and empower young girls? Even after these incidents, the most shocking scandal was yet to come. Less than 2 years after the Virginia debacle, authorities discovered the body of a newborn baby on the school premises. The baby's tragic fate sent shockwaves through the media as the newborn was found hidden in a backpack. The incident exposed deeper issues within the academy, including the lack of adequate support systems for students facing personal crises. Critics argued that while Oprah's intentions for the school were noble, the execution fell short, leaving students vulnerable to various forms of harm. How could such tragedies occur in a place that was meant to be a safe haven for these young girls? These repeated scandals have led many to question Oprah's judgment and oversight. Some critics point out the glaring contradiction between her own harrowing experiences with abuse and her inability to create a truly safe environment for the students at her academy. As someone who has publicly spoken about the trauma she endured as a child, Oprah's failure to anticipate and prevent such incidents at her school has left a bitter taste for many. Oprah's response to these incidents has also raised eyebrows. While she has taken steps to address the problems, including personally visiting the school and launching investigations, some feel her actions have been reactive rather than proactive. Could more rigorous background checks on staff and better monitoring of student welfare have prevented these tragedies? It's a question that lingers in the minds of many who once admired Oprah's initiative. And it doesn't help that Mel Gibson is now seemingly shining a light on Oprah's true colors. In any case, Mel Gibson is a name that everyone knows, whether it's for his acting in blockbusters like The Patriot, his direction of Braveheart, or the controversies that have shadowed his career. But behind the headlines and Hollywood glamour lies a story of a man who took a stand against the very system he was a part of, and paid the price for it.
And the message, and I think for any sane person, is that they should hate war, but one must have love and compassion for the warrior.
From the start, Mel wasn't one to play by Hollywood's rules. He spoke out about the strange, unspoken culture that seemed to control the industry. Imagine being a newcomer in Hollywood, already noticing things that didn't sit right with you, and then calling them out. Bold, right? That's exactly what Mel did, even in the early days of his career. In one of his first interviews, he didn't hold back, describing the industry's odd and unsettling environment. In an old interview, Mel claimed,
Weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
Now it is an unsaid rule, according to anonymous sources, that every new actor has to find a solid footing in connections before they even think about exposing their industry. Well, the Patriot actor did the exact opposite. It does not take a genius to guess why Hollywood resented Mel for his exposés. However, the actor has also been embroiled in controversy over the years, from arrests to accusations of anti-Semitism. Although some of the incidents were mistakes on Mel's part, Hollywood blew it out of proportion due to their long-standing grudge against him. Back in 1983, actor Mel found himself in a legal situation in Canada. While working on the film Mrs. Sawful alongside Diane Keaton and Matthew Modine, Gibson was involved in a car accident. Reports indicate that he rear-ended another vehicle while driving under the influence of alcohol. As a result of the incident, Gibson received a 3-month driving ban in Toronto. It conveniently occurred after his infamous interview, where he detailed all the deets regarding the inner workings of his industry. Mel revealed that he was terrified of the person he had to make conversation with. Mel actually pulled the curtains from the truth about the agenda regarding having females in the entertainment industry.
Opinion about women on film, from beginning to end, is very brief. He says, women on film, either naked or dead. Both is better.
Later in his spree, Mel revealed that since he was the new guy in the industry, he could pinpoint the weird things instantly. In a brave moment, he admitted that the things he witnessed in the Tinseltown were more close to his worst nightmares than to reality. He explained that since the things happening were so out of the world and his fellows won't explain it to him, he started doubting himself, but he later figured that everyone was in on the secret except for him. He said,
Opinion about women on film, from beginning to end, is very brief. He says, women on film, either naked or dead. Both is better.
It is to note that Mel had a hard time adjusting in that environment. He revealed that the society played every trick in the book to mess up with you and your career in order to have an upper hand on you. But Mel was not blind to those tricks and was pretty clever in his approach.
Imagine that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like, could it? And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track.
In the past, Mel Gibson and Paramount Pictures faced backlash from the LGBTQ+ community for the portrayal of Edward II in Braveheart. Many felt the character was reduced to a stereotype, described as a simpering weakling played for laughs. Protests organized by Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation even included leaflets parodying the Braveheart poster, distributed at theaters. Kathy Renna, a co-chair at GLAAD, didn't hold back her criticism, saying, "It's discouraging and disappointing that there are major studios in Hollywood still willing to peddle this kind of homophobia in films. But it's no surprise that it's in a Mel Gibson film. Gibson is to Hollywood what Jesse Helms is to Washington." This wasn't an isolated controversy for Mel. He had also come under fire for making crude remarks about homosexuality during an interview with a Spanish magazine. His words were shockingly offensive. "They take it up the A. This is only for taking an ish. With this look, who's going to think I'm gay? I don't lend myself to that type of confusion. Do I look like a H? Do I talk like them? Do I move like them?" These comments ignited outrage. Years later, Mel addressed the backlash in an interview with HuffPost, claiming his words had been twisted. He explained, "It was over something I said 5 years ago in a Spanish interview, which was taken the wrong way. I don't want to go into it again because it's like igniting an effing spark. I just don't want it. I don't want anyone writing to me or coming to my house. I don't want any of that ish. Suffice it to say that I've been chased by automobiles doing dangerous things on the freeway. I'm not even comfortable with you printing this because there are certain organizations that like to breathe down my neck. I don't give an F what they do, so long as they keep it to themselves." Mel said the backlash made him deeply paranoid. He claimed the media frenzy started when he refused to issue an apology. He recalled, "The next day, I was doing an interview on national television and was asked, 'So, are you going to apologize? You've offended the community.' I said, 'I'm not apologizing to anyone. I'll apologize when hell freezes over. They can F off.' Then the war started." Amid this storm, Mel participated in a forum organized by Chastity Bono, Cher's son, to meet with GLAAD representatives. The goal was to have an open dialogue and resolve the tensions. According to Mel's publicist, the meeting was productive, described as a nice dialogue between people who have a lot in common. Still, the controversies didn't stop. In 2010, actress Winona Ryder opened up to GQ about an uncomfortable encounter with Gibson at a Hollywood party in the 90s. She claimed, "I remember like 15 years ago, I was at one of those big Hollywood parties, and he was really drunk. I was with my friend who's gay. He made a really horrible gay joke, and somehow it came up that I was Jewish. He said something about oven dodgers, but I didn't get it. I'd never heard that before. It was just this weird moment. I was like, he's anti-Semitic and he's phobic." No one believed me. Mel didn't respond publicly at the time, but when Ryder repeated the story in 2020 to the Sunday Times, his spokesperson issued a strong denial. They accused Ryder of lying. She lied about it over a decade ago when she talked to the press, and she's lying about it now. Also, she lied about him trying to apologize to her back then. He did reach out to her many years ago to confront her about her lies, and she refused to address it with him. Winona fired back, standing firm on her claims. In a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, she said, "I believe in redemption and forgiveness and hope that Mr. Gibson has found a healthy way to deal with his demons, but I am not one of them. Around 1996, my friend Kevin Aucoin and I were on the receiving end of his hateful words. It is a painful and vivid memory for me. Only by accepting responsibility for our behavior in this life can we make amends and truly respect each other, and I wish him well on this lifelong journey." In any case, both Gibson and Oprah have their own skeletons in the closet. But one thing they have in common is their ties to Hollywood's most powerful figures. And as the curtain slowly pulls back, it becomes clear. The battle for truth is only just beginning. Is Oprah the hero we think she is, or is she complicit in a system that hides some of Hollywood's darkest secrets? And what about Mel Gibson? Could his outspoken support for Sound of Freedom be the key to unlocking the truth about the powerful figures who pull the strings in Hollywood? The questions remain. What does Oprah really know? And what is Mel Gibson trying to expose? As we continue to uncover the hidden connections between these two Hollywood giants, one thing is clear. There's a lot more to this story than we're being told. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.